Hi, boys and girls. Miss Block here. We are going to read Loser. We are on Chapter 8, Two New Friends. In the summer between first and second grades, Zinkoff acquires two new friends. One is a baby sister, the other is a neighbor. The baby sister is Polly, the neighbor is Andrew. When Zinkoff first meets the baby, his mother says, "Look," and pulls down the blanket. Zinkoff's eyes boggle. There are two silver stars on the baby's diaper. This baby is less than 1 day old. What can she have done already to deserve 2 stars? He's never been awarded more than one at a time. "Mom," he says, "2 stars? What did she do?" "She did the best thing of all," says his mother, pulling up the blanket. "She was born." Has Zinkoff been misinformed? "I was born too, wasn't I?" She pats his hand. "Absolutely. You were every bit as born as Polly was." "So," he says, "how come I didn't get 2 stars?" "Who says you didn't?" He brightens. "I did?" She shakes her head. "Sorry, I was kidding you. That was before I started giving out stars." Now she needs to pick him up again. "Tell you what. How would you like your being born stars now? Better late than never." He brightens again. "Yeah!" But she's not finished thinking. "Or how about this? We could make a deal. We could wait until you're having a really bad day. Some day when you could really, really use 2 stars to pick you up. That's when you get them." He thinks it over. He hates to wait, but he loves to make deals. "Okay," he says, and shakes his mother's hand. Then he reaches into the blanket and shakes the baby's foot. A month later, the new neighbors move in next door. That same day, Mrs. Zinkoff bakes a strawberry angel food cake and carries it out the front door. Her firstborn tags along. "This is how we say, 'Welcome,'" she says. He stands at his mother's side as she rings the doorbell and says, "Welcome to the neighborhood," and hands the cake to the new lady neighbor, whose proper name is Mrs. Orwell, but whose first name is better, Charisse. Then he is introduced. "This is my son, Donald." Charisse smiles down at him and shakes his hand and says, "Hello, Donald. I have a son, too. His name is Andrew. How old are you?" "6," he replies. "So is Andrew." Zinkoff stares at the two ladies in wonder. "Wow, same as me?" He looks past Charisse. "Is he in there?" "He is," says Charisse, "but he's hiding. He says he's never coming out. He's mad because we moved away from our other house." Zinkoff thinks about this for a moment. He lifts a finger to Charisse. "I have an idea. Tell Andrew my father is a mailman. That will make him come out." In Zinkoff's view, carrying the mail is the most important job there is. Charisse nods solemnly. "I'll give it a try." Before Zinkoff and his mother get back to their own house, he has another idea. "I'm going to make a special welcome just for Andrew." "Good for you," says his mother. "A cake?" "No, a cookie." His mother does not say no. His parents tried not to say no to him unless it's really necessary. So when he announces that he intends to bake a cookie, his mother simply says, "What kind?" He doesn't hesitate. "A snickerdoodle." The snickerdoodle is his favorite cookie. Every cookie tastes good to him, but snickerdoodles taste twice as good because of their name. Sometimes his dad says snickerdiddle and makes him laugh for an hour. Zinkoff's idea is to bake a snickerdoodle so big that Andrew, the new neighbor, will have to come out and see it. Since he is working on the kitchen table, it seems to him that the largest cookie he can make would be one as large as the table itself. But his mother points out that a cookie that big could not fit in the oven, so he settles for a rectangular cookie that covers the entire cookie pan. Every time his mother tries to help, the young chef snaps at her. "I can do that." So his mother simply gives directions and says, "Heaven help me," a lot, while her intrepid son makes a mess of the kitchen. Do you guys remember what intrepid means? Brave, courageous. Flower days fly everywhere. For weeks to come, the family will feel the crunch of sugar grains underfoot. Oh my gosh, I've done that before. I've baked stuff and gotten those little sugar grains all over the floor, and until I vacuumed it, I would feel them like every day they'd stick to the bottom of my feet or my socks. Have you guys ever done that? Finally, miraculously, the cookie gets baked. He snatches the quilted mitten and potholder from his mother. "I can do it myself," pulls the hot pan from the oven, and sets it on the kitchen table. Impatient as always, he cannot wait for it to cool. He blows over the steaming cookie until he's out of breath. He flaps his hands over it. At last, the pan is cool enough to touch without the mitten. He runs next door with it. He rings the bell. Charisse opens the door. Hi, Donald. Hi, Charisse. I made a welcome cookie for Andrew. It's a snickerdoodle. I think if you put it on the floor and wait a little while, he'll smell it and come out. Zinkoff is utterly serious, but for some reason, Charisse laughs. Come on in, she says. Wait here. Charisse leaves him standing in the living room. He hears whispery voices upstairs. Once he hears a sharp, no! Then there are footsteps on the stairs, and here at last is Andrew Orwell walking toward him in his grumpy face and pajamas in the middle of the day. Hi, Zinkoff says. My name is Donald Zinkoff. I'm your neighbor. I made you a welcome cookie. It's a snickerdoodle. Andrew's face perks up. He leans in to smell the cookie. He is hooked. Zinkoff reaches for the spatula his mother told him to bring along. A cookie is not really a cookie unless it's out of the pan and into the hand. He lays the pan on the floor. He pries the giant snickerdoodle from the sides and bottom of the pan. He lifts out the warm, soft, heavenly smelling welcome. This made me hungry. He lifts it with both hands and holds it out to Andrew. As Andrew reaches for it, the panless, unsupported cookie collapses of its own weight and falls to the floor. Zinkoff is left with a bite-sized scrap in each hand. Andrew Orwell stares in horror at the floor. He screams, My cookie! He screams at Zinkoff, You dropped it! He runs, screaming up the stairs. I hate this place! Zinkoff stuffs one scrap into his mouth, then the other. He gathers up the collapsed pieces from the floor and carries them home in the pan. He sits on the front step. Everybody who passes by that afternoon is offered a piece of cookie. In between, Zinkoff helps himself. By the time Clunker 4 rattles up to the curb, the cookie is gone. As his father gets out of the car, Zinkoff runs to him, plunges his head into his father's mailbag, and throws up. Zinkoff was born with an upside-down valve in his stomach. This causes him to throw up several times a week. To Zinkoff, throwing up is almost as normal as breathing, but not to his father, who's brought his mailbag home with him in order to repair the strap. When Donald was an infant, Mr. Zinkoff was very good about changing diapers, but he has no stomach for vomit. He turns away, holds out the bag, and growls, Take it to your mother! Early on, Zinkoff's mother impressed upon her son the etiquette of throwing up. That is, do not throw up at random, but throw up into something, preferably a toilet or bucket. Since toilets or buckets are not always handy, Zinkoff has learned to reach for the nearest container. Thus, at one time or other, he has thrown up into soup bowls, flower pots, baskets, trash bins, shopping bags, winter boots, kitchen sinks, and once a clown's hat, but never his father's mailbag. He thinks his mother will say, Heaven help me, but she does not. She's cool. She puts down baby Polly and unloads the bag into the toilet. She scours it with stiff bristle brush and hand soap. She rubs it with Marley's leather cream. She sweetens it with a splash of Menin's aftershave and sets it into the playpen for baby Polly to crawl into. Hungry again, Zinkoff eats a full dinner that night and throws up into one of his socks. Heaven help me. That's the chapter. Goodness, like growing up, I am pretty similar to Zinkoff's dad. Like, I remember trying to clean up throw up for my dogs, and it's like it makes me want to throw up. Like, it's just like, ooh, it's different than cleaning up dog poop for me. But some people don't get as nauseous as I do when doing it. Do you get nauseous by like throw up? I love you guys. I miss you so much. Have a good day. Bye.